Hi! Welcome to Artistry Collaborative. My name is Joanne and I'm so glad you joined me today. I'm back just for this video. I will be back in September, I promise, but I wanted to share this. This has been a labor of love. I've been wanting to do this for years, collecting things along the way. So I'm going to show you my outdoor fairy garden. But this is more than just an outdoor fairy garden. I used old windows. It's up on 4 posts. I have it lit. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not complete. It's complete for now. I've been working on this for over 2 months and I just wanted to get it to you so that you know I'm still in the loop. You haven't lost me. Just like I said, I'm revamping everything and changing, and I'm hoping to do bigger and better things. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I know this is strange, but I'm on a little hiatus. I will be back in September. We will hit fall and Halloween hard and then jump right into Christmas right after that. So please hang in there. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you like this, please share it. Please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. I really do. So as we say, let's get together and create this together. Okay, so this is a piece of wood that just happens to fit the windows that I picked up. So I laid it on the ground and I sprayed paint in the corners because that's where I'm going to dig the 4 holes that are going to have these. They're actually 4x4s. I got them at Home Depot and I had them cut them in half, so they're 4 feet each tall. It was an 8-foot piece, obviously. And so we're going to dig these holes and then we're going to put them in with rocks and cement and build from there. Alright, so here are the 4 posts cemented in, and now these boards, I found this board behind my shed, so I cut it, and now I'm going to drill holes and attach it to the poles. Okay, so as you can see, I have cut up, I got these boards from Facebook Marketplace. They were free. Someone was tearing down their deck and they're in decent shape, so I cut them. They're not the most even thing you've ever seen, but it doesn't matter. So now I am going to drill these down. As you can see, I ran out. So I did find this one piece I had in my stash, which is kind of good because if I plug something in, I can run the plug through this. But now we're going to attach these boards to the boards that I put down. So I wanted to show you that I used the galvanized deck nails, and they're 6x2. I don't know what that 6x2. They're probably 2 inches. I guess number 6. And so this is all solid as a rock. So now I have my windows, and I have 4 that have the double panes, and I have 2 that are just the regular square windows. So this kind will be in the front and the back, and the other 2 will be on the sides, and then the top 2 will be the roof. So I need to sand it because, as you can see, it needs some little bit of work, and we're going to paint these. So let me do that. Okay, so I sanded and washed, and now I'm going to take some of this all-purpose caulk and I'm going to caulk the window. I cut the tip, and so I'm going to put a bead of caulk all the way down. And then I'm going to take my knife and just smooth it out. Bring it all the way down. And then come back up the other way. Now what I could take is my finger, and we can clean this up with a razor. after. Now you could go over this again. And I might do that. So I wanted to show that I used these hinges to attach this to this. And then once I got it up on the stand, I then further reinforced it with these little L brackets to the table. So I'm going to continue to do that. Right now we're going to put on the front door. Okay, and so that is the 4 walls. Now I did have to rig it here a little bit because the front and the back are a little bit higher than the sides. So I'm going to paint that, and I'll probably put a facade in the front to just cover it all up to make it look cleaner. But right now we're going to put a handle in, and I'm going to clean the windows, and I'll be back. And now I put 3 slats of wood. I actually got those from a pallet that someone was throwing away. So I cut them down to size and put those on for more reinforcement. Okay, so now I've added a piece of 3x3 copper tin roof. Originally I wanted like a gabled roof, but it was just not in my budget. So we're gonna go with this, and I might add some Dollar Tree galvanized around the edge. But we're getting more to the exciting part, so tune in. Okay, so to add a little something, I mean, I have the copper top, but you can't really see it, and it doesn't do much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these galvanized tins from the Dollar Tree, they're the clouds, and I'm going to put them up like that so it looks like a scalloped edge all the way across. This is called improvisation, my friends. Yeah, you know, it's not my original idea, but I'm going with what I have and is affordable. Alright, so now I am going to make a tree for the fairy garden. I wanted a nice big willow tree. So I have these, which I thought would lend themselves really well to this. And I'm going to drill a hole here. And then I'm going to use this garland because I just think it looks fabulous. I wish I had bought more of these. Or if I could get my hands on more, it would be even better. So I'm going to cut this down because I don't want it that high. But the first thing I'm going to do is I have some brown florist tape, and we will wrap this around the trunk. Now, my branches, excuse me, my branches are also brown, but most of the time they are green. So if you don't have brown branches, use your green ones, and then just spray paint the whole tree, and then put your leaves on it. So I'm going to wrap this all the way down. Alright, so I took these 2 branches that I had, and they just happen to be perfect. You probably will have to use a couple more branches, but I stuck them in here and I put a ton of glue. So now I am going to take some more tape and cover the top like that. But before I do that, I took my garland and I cut it apart, and I just hot glued it along the stem. So I'm going to do that with all of these, and I'll see how far I get, and I'll be back. Alright, so I had to add a few more of the ferns. So what I did is, well, I put them all in here, and then I crisscrossed some more of the brown tape. And now I'm just going into the paper roll and making a hole. Oh, lost my blade. And then I'm going to put some glue in there and then stick the stem inside. And so there you go. I'll fix it once I set it up, but I really like that. It looks like a weeping willow. I may even make it shorter. Okay, so we are inside the fairy house, and I am creating some stained glass look. So all this is puffy paint. So all I do is run a bead along like a vine, and then I grab some vines here. Where are you? Why don't I see this? The light is very terrible in here. And then I come down here and here, and then I'm just making some leaves, and it looks like grapes, but it's supposed to be wisteria. And so I'm just making little bunches. Giving it some leaves. And I'm going to continue, and we're going to do that. I'm going to show you the back window because it's a little different, because there was a crack in the window. I cracked the window when I was nailing it, screwing it. So I just turned that into a vine. Okay, so now I have this gallery glass that I got on clearance, and I'm going to add some color to it because it's white. And I'm adding some acrylic in lavender and purple. I'm just going to take some of the purple, mix it in here with the white. And then just go in and fill in. Now this area is dried, so you have to wait for the black to dry. And I forgot, I'm also going to need some green. And then I'm going to go in with some lavender to give it a little bit more dimension. And I'm not even doing it well, you know, I'm just kind of splashing the color on. I know this is going to look like grapes, but, and I was actually going to do a faux stained glass window, but I didn't want to cover up all the glass. I wanted to be able to see in to the fairy garden. And again, you know, with the crack, I had to come up with something that would look authentic. Alright, so I've got that, and I'm going to go in with the lighter purple and then finish this up. Okay, so now I'm just taking a dark green and a light green, And I'm just going to go over the leaves. And again, I'm not being very particular. So I accidentally picked up some green paint to go into the purple, and when I did it, I actually really liked it. So I ended up going over all the purple with some green. It's really like a teal, and I love it. Oh, I can't wait till it's done. Now, just to show you, in the corners of the front and the back, I put that film that you could get at Dollar Tree. I just think it adds a nice little frosted look. Alright, so I'm actually going to redo the roof because I don't like it flat, and I had the good luck of finding these at Michael's for 70% off. So I got them for $7 change each, as opposed to $30 at Home Depot. So we're going to use these. Okay, so I cut some boards, and as you can see, there is a huge gap there. So I'm using these brackets, and I'm going to go back and fill in that gap with wood putty, and then I'm going to paint that those boards the teal that I painted the rest of the fairy house. Alright, so what I did is I used Gorilla Wood glue and glued that into the arch that I made. And in the back, to reinforce it, I used some thick painter, the 5-gallon painter sticks, to double it. And then here, I just used some L brackets to secure it. And of course, I did nail it here. So yeah, I'm liking this so much better. Okay, so now I have the two, what are we going to call that, roof angles, and now I'm going to put a board across to help support it. Okay, so now I have attached the copper portion. I took that flat piece and I just folded it in half. Try to get the best shot here. And now for this other half, like I said, I wanted to use 2 pieces of copper, but when I went back to buy another piece, it was $50. I think I paid $34 for that one, so I was like, no, too pricey. So I found some old plywood, old 1/4-inch plywood, cut it up, and I painted it copper. I should have primed it before I spray painted it, but it's fine. So I'll be adding that in tomorrow. And there it is with the clouds attached. Okay, so this is all set. I did the front and the back. I need to pull this down, and I'm going to tack it some more. But then I think I'm going to put a piece of wood across here to finish it off. But right now we're going to get to the fun part and start decorating this baby. This is a working tabletop fountain that my mom got years ago. So I am putting the cord in this space that I left. Even though this is going to be raised up, I just want to make sure I get the cord in. So I built up some of, now if you had bigger squares you could definitely use that, but this is just styrofoam I covered in contact paper just to build it up a little bit. And then I bought this artificial grass rug. It was $15 for 4x6. I'm not going to use the whole thing, but it's much cheaper than buying the real stuff, and it's more weatherproof. So now we're just going to cover this up, and then I'm going to gather some rocks and put the fountain on top. So I wanted to show you that I ended up taping the pieces together, you can see in there, so they don't move. So I would have cut this a little bit bigger, but it's okay. And now I tape this to the styrofoam. Okay, so before we go any further, I'm also putting in solar lights. So I put it facing the sun, and then I'm bringing it through the back and up through that hole where the fountain is being plugged in. So I want to put my base lights in. So this was, I think, a 300 strand of solar lights. So I was going to hang them all around the outside, but then I thought I should probably put them in the rafters. I just figured I had so many. And it actually took up most of them, so I'm hoping that when it lights, all the light will just shine down. I will have a few that go around, but if that's not enough light, then I'll just put a spotlight on the entire fairy house. But so I went back and forth, and then I went around the perimeter, and now I have enough to go around the base. Okay, if you see these at your Dollar Tree, pick them up. They are amazing. If I see more, I'm just going to buy all that I see because I just love it. So I hung this all along the sides, and of course I made the willow tree. But yeah, pick it up. Alright, so we have to make a pond for my fairy garden. And I thought I'm going to use this. So I put some hot glue to close up the holes. This one and that one. And now I'm just going to take some... Actually, I want something darker. I was going to use agave, but I want something more blue, so I'm going to use Peacock Waverly chalk paint. And probably going to take a couple of coats. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we're going to fill this with a well, it's like a resin. It might be resin, I don't know what it is. It's like that clear vase filler, but while this is drying, we're going to make some koi fish to put into the pond. So we're just going to cover this up. But again, you could use a plastic dish, you could use any kind of container really. And instead of the resin or the vase filler, you could use hot glue. I will be using hot glue to make the waterfall, but I wanted the pond to be a bit clearer. So that's why I'm going to use the vase filler, because that is very clear. Alright, so we're going to let this dry. I think I'll probably do another coat. Maybe not. Looks pretty. And we're going to let that dry. I'm showing here that I actually used a glitter paint on the bottom of that to give it a little more sparkle. My koi fish footage it was terrible, so I couldn't add that in, but basically just played around with some polymer clay. You make an oval and then you just kind of pull some out, and I used black, yellow, orange, and translucent polymer clay to create the fish. Now I'm gluing a few at the bottom, and then I'm going to pour in the resin and then let that dry, and then put in a few more so that they're at different levels in the pool. And I also use little black beads for the eyes for the koi fish. So basically you make an oval and you kind of just squeeze the fins out and you squeeze the back tail, and then you've got yourself a koi fish. And the marbling of the colors really make it come in. So yeah, it's really not difficult at all. And yeah, I'm sure there's tutorials on how to do the little fish. So I'm sorry that I lost that footage, but okay. And again, I'm going to finish these. I'm going to pour the resin inside, and then I'm going to add more fish once that's dried and hardened.
And the resin, this is just something I bought on clearance, and you just mix the two different components and stir it really well and then just pour it in. Very, very easy to use. And here I am pouring the resin mixture, well, half of it, into the pond. And as you can see, it's very cloudy, but it will dry completely clear. It looks like glass. It's awesome. So we will wait for this to dry. We will add the rest of the fish. Then we'll put the rest of it in, and it will be done.
All right, so that's what it looks like. It's very pretty. Now we're going to put our other fish in. I am going to glue them in place so they don't move. When I pour the rest in, and then we're going to pour the rest of this in. If I threw my spoon out. Alright, so I put 2 blocks together and I covered it with the copper. And now this is going to go in the right hand corner. But before I do that, I'm going to make a hole here, and we're going to put our weeping willow tree here. So this is hard to do with one hand, but right about here, here, and I'm just going to see if I can prop this up. Like that. Then we're going to get our glue gun and put glue all in there. Okay, so I found some rocks in my yard and I stacked them leading up to the fountain, and then down here is where the pond will be, and then it'll have a little path around it. I just went through my stash. I've been collecting this stuff for years. I've been wanting to do one of these for years. So right now I am going to use my hot glue. I'm going to see if I can get you to see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm going to just glue, well, I'm going to glue some small stone on the top here, just so that it looks like it's coming out of the fountain and down the rocks. Alright, so this is all filled in, Let me show you up close. And now I'm going to just take my hot glue gun and just run it all the way down. And I'll continue to do this until it looks like a waterfall. Now I am going to use some metallic silver and white iridescent to put that in there, and I may even throw in some glitter. But I'm going to fill this in with my glue and I'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that I am putting these along the edge to edge the fairy garden, and then I'm also going to put in these streaming down from there, so it looks like it's a flower cascade. Okay, so I wanted to clue you in on the different stages. So this is the waterfall of flowers, and then I've just put bits of hydrangeas around the rocks. Here I built, this isn't going to be here, but I built a wooden staircase to the willow tree, and then over here I built a staircase to the wishing well, and then in the back I put that spray with the butterflies. Now over here is it's a music box actually I got for $3 at Goodwill, so that's going to stay here and we'll build up around there, and then we're going to put the pond in once that's done, and then we'll build a playground in this area. So I didn't know where I was the last time I filmed, but this is what we're creating. This piece I've had for years. It never sold, and then I love it. It has a little fountain inside, so we're putting that there. This I changed up a bit. I found that rock clearance at Michael's for $5, and I just love it, so that's there. So I changed under the willow tree because I had these around the tree, but we'll find something else with that. There's the pond in place and this little village. So now I just have this area to create, and so I want to, I think, create a little bit of a water stream here, and then this will be like a playground. So I'm just grabbing a bunch of my flowers and stuff and just playing, really. So as you can see, I created a little swing with a piece of, it's actually a wood ribbon. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby, I'm not sure, but you could use a Jenga block, you could use anything you want. I put 2 holes in it and tied it, and again you can make this out of wood sticks. So I have these that were up there, and I'm going to fill this with flowers, and this is just going to be the little playground. We've got this, we've got the slide, we've got the rocker, I have a couple of stools of stumps. This guy I don't know what I'm doing with, so I'm just going to put him there for now. This is going to be a work in progress, to say the least. So let me put the flowers in. We're going to hang some butterflies in the greenery, and then I'll give you the final reveal. And this is the final reveal. I hope you really like this. I absolutely love it. And again, use what you have. I'm not finished. I want to put in those oh, I can't explain it, but they look hashed with the, it's like a Why can't I explain it? But like a trellis, that's what I want to do. I want to put a trellis down here. I want to put a board across there to finish it, and it's going to say believe in magic. Yeah, I am so happy with this, and I hope you are too. Please, if you haven't become a subscriber, please do, because coming up in September we're going to jump into fall and Halloween, and we are just going to have a blast. I miss you guys, I really do, but it's all for the best because I'm rejuvenating and getting ideas, and we're going to rock it. All right, thank you so much, and keep on creating.